And I think that's when it all started for me. Like, okay, I'm just gonna learn how to do it. You know, like instead of trying to ask for help,
I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it myself and learn. And I think that's been my mindset ever since then. Like, if I don't know how to do it, I'd rather learn, even if it takes a year or two. I'd rather learn and, eventually do it myself. Because I would literally make a song and just drop it like hot off the stove. Cause I was just like, I just wanted to get my ideas out there in a way.
Right.
So I had a cup full of rice. I put a stick and I taped the mic to the stick. And I had a wired hanger. I made it round. I put a sock over it, one of my mom's socks over it, like the thin ones. And that was my filter. And the microphone was a Guitar Hero microphone. The video game, so it wasn't even like a real microphone, but.
Welcome back to another DBS podcast. Your host, Juan Bataya, with our guest, LIING.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Yes, sir. A global artist who is also a creative artist. So he's also venturing into multiple things, not just music, not just videography or photography. But everything starts from the beginning. So LIING, where did it start from?
Well, I'm born in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's really where the story starts. I mean, just a kid coming up out of the hood and trying to just make my dreams a reality,
Right.
Make art. Grew up making art, making music, and it just became part of my life.
Right on. And through that, did you, like, when growing up, through that, what were you doing? Playing soccer, writing music,
Yeah, for sure.
doing
Playing
this.
a lot of soccer, getting into music. I mean, it all started just with love for the music, listening to music, and slowly it just turned into like just wanting to make music and write songs, and then it turned to making videos and all that.
When did you start liking music, or how did you get into like, all right, music's gonna be something I'm gonna take serious and I'm gonna like take full accountability that I'm gonna do this, because you have to be like a public figure now that you are a musician, correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, I think it all started when I was around 12 years old. When I really got into all this, it all started with music, honestly. Just the people I was hanging around, they would introduce me to like different kinds of styles of music, because growing up, I didn't really have that much access to the internet, you could say. So like all I really knew was like radios and all that, radio hits. And then I think when I was around 12 years old is when a lot of my friends started introducing me to like the underground scene and underground artists, and I started discovering more like what I actually like in a way. And yeah, it's really where it starts, around 12 years old.
And that's when you're like taking that all in, seeing what you like, adapting to what you do like and what you don't like. When did you start expressing what you really like? When did you start playing music?
I would say around 14 years old. Is when it all really starts. Yeah, it's when it all really starts. Like actually like learning how to write and how to structure a song and what goes into recording and all that. That's really when it started around 14.
I thought it was just like you picking up the guitar at 14. When did you pick up the guitar?
The guitar wasn't until like I was like 18, 19.
Wow. So you're more of a songwriter.
Yeah, like I really started writing songs and like just learning how to record and all that. Because growing up I didn't have the resources to like just go to a studio. So I always been very hands-on. Like I like learning how to do things and just try to get it the most I can, how I like it. So I think that's around when I started, getting into programs, how to record, like different kind of microphones and like styles. But I didn't really learn the guitar until I was like 18, honestly.
That's crazy. I thought you got it like at 14. You started playing.
Nah. That came later on for sure.
How can you say that beneficial to what what's going on now?
Ooh, it helped me a lot,
Right?
honestly. Like, a lot of the songs I start now, they just start with the guitar. Just messing around, finding chords. And because at first I used to just, like, try to find beats or, like, instrumentals and stuff, get inspired. And then later on I had to go try to recreate something similar. Or, like, I really started making beats from around, like, 14 to, like, 18. And then from 18 I just picked up the guitar. And, like, everything kind of just changed for me, you know.
So that's just, it was just like a resource that you can use.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that you unlocked,
Yeah.
per se, right? Because
Exactly.
I haven't unlocked it, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
But so what did you think, or when did you feel like, all right, I can use this instrument, or I can use these sort resources that I have, that I've learned, to my capability?
I think, well, I learned at 18, so it took me about a year to really, like, know what I wanted to do. And then so I just kept going every day, making new styles, making different ideas. And yeah, it just kept going. I think about a year or two later is when I really felt like I had my potential back. Because I think from when I first started to when I learned the guitar, in a way, it's like everything I knew up until then, I had to, like, start over in a way. Because it was, like, something new, like how to record instruments, how to record that kind of stuff.
How to add sound to something that you already recorded.
Yeah, because I used to do everything digitally. Everything was digital, like, or I used to love to sample, so I would find samples. But then when I really got into the guitar and all that, it was like a reset in a way, like, or like a restart. I had to learn from scratch again. Basically, that's how I felt. Because the beats changed, the instrumentals changed, everything changed.
Your ear changes too, huh?
Yeah.
Like how you want to
Yeah,
sound, how you want it
exactly.
to listen to it. That's what's up. And I was thinking about SoundCloud. You know, you're coming up artist. How did SoundCloud formulate, or not? How did SoundCloud, help you to just see? Because SoundCloud has so much sound, so much beats,
Yeah.
songs, whatever. So how did that sound?
For
How did
sure,
that influence
it
you?
helped me a lot because, well, first starting, it's like I didn't know how to get my songs on platforms or stuff like that. So it was like I would make a song and I would just post it on SoundCloud right away.
Oh, what?
It was quick. I would make a song and just.
You feel
post
like
it.
no one was gonna see it, or why would that? Why
I
was
wanted
that?
them to see it, but it's like I would just drop it. I would literally make a song and just drop it like hot off the stove, because I was just like, I just wanted to get my ideas out there in a way.
Right.
So I would make a song, drop it, and on to the next. I would just, and I kept doing that for about a year, and then it really helped me learn how to structure a song, and I got into like the other side of things, like promotion and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it definitely helped me. It was until about 3 years later I got into more serious, was dropping on platforms and started checking the resources and how to do that, all that kind of stuff.
And that's a journey, right? You just don't, you don't just wake up and, oh, I'm gonna drop on SoundCloud. I'm gonna drop on Spotify, right? You have to,
Yeah.
like, grow into that and see the resources, adapt to them, and use them for your ability.
Yeah, definitely.
So what were some struggles throughout that?
I mean, one of my earliest memories is I had songs written, but I didn't have no one to record for me. And I used to always post, like, coming soon, music coming soon. Like, in reality, I didn't even have nothing ready to record or, like, but it was just, like, trying to get it going. And so I had a friend that, I don't know if he had a studio or how he would record, but he had dropped, like, 2 songs at the time. And I remember I hit him up, actually, like, yo, bro, like, I'm trying to drop this song. Can you get me in the studio? Whoopty whoop. And then I remember he kind of put it off, brushed me off. He was like, oh, come on, man, like, whoopty whoop. And I think that's when it all started for me, like, okay, I'm just going to learn how to do it, You know, like instead of trying to ask for help,
I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it myself and learn. And I think that's been my mindset ever since then. Like if I don't know how to do it, I'd rather learn, even if it takes a year or two. I'd rather learn and eventually do it myself, because I think from then I just stopped asking for help in a way. I just rather do it myself. And so I would record everything by myself, in the room by myself, in the closet studios.
You spoke to me about a story off camera about you creating a microphone with some rice and a cup or something.
I had a cup full of rice. I put a stick and I taped the mic to the stick. And I had a wired hanger. I made it round. I put a sock over it, one of my mom's socks over it, like the thin ones. And that was my filter. And the microphone was a Guitar Hero microphone, the video game. So it wasn't even like a real microphone, but it was able to get sounds into the actual program. So that just unlocked doors for me. Cause that was a big one for me, just trying to get a microphone. Like, I didn't have no job, I had no money. I was like 13 or 14 at the time. And I just really wanted to get my ideas out. So I went through a couple of things, like a headset. I had a fake phone that I could record audio with. And then eventually I just looking through the garage, I found my old microphone from the video game. I was like, I'm gonna try it, and it worked. So I think that that's really where it all started right there. Once that happened, it was like I was unstoppable. I was just make a song, post it. Make a song, post it. And even though they weren't the best songs, I listen to them now. I listen to the lyrics, and I just laugh because I'm like, what was I talking about? But it was good though. It was a good time, honestly.
And we have to have those moments, right?
Yeah.
We have to have those moments where we struggle, where we don't know, and where we learn, where we're confused, and we're just like, what do I do? And we look for things, and then we find the resources, and we find the people that we need. What was another struggle going into, later down the journey?
Definitely. Well, when I changed, cause I used to make like rap and all that, rap, trap. I started making my own beats, that's what really got me into the music. Like, I knew I wasn't necessarily trying to be a rapper, but I just knew it was gonna be a good gateway to just get my foot in the door, get into music, get into writing songs. It was easy. But I think later on, when I got into cause I used to write in English, and I just, from one day to another, just started writing in Spanish. It was just crazy. I just was like, okay, I wanna try something different.
And you never looked back?
Yeah, and I never looked back from that day.
So if I give you a piece of paper right now, you're gonna start writing in Spanish?
Yeah, it's rare for me to write in English now, but I wouldn't say that was the struggle. The struggle was more like...
But that's just the highlight,
Yeah, the struggle was more like when I switched, the whole instrumentals changed, everything changed. So it's like, I knew how to make beats, I knew how to make a beat, a drum pattern, the 808s and all that. And then when I started writing in Spanish, it's like, I didn't use none of that. It was like starting over, like with guitars and real instruments and recording. And I didn't know how to mix that kind of audio.
That's right. You said you're digital. Sorry.
Yeah, everything was digital.
That's
so now
right.
it was
so
like
just on the computer, right?
So then it turned to like recording a real guitar and like, how do you mix it? Do you pan it here? Do you do this? So I really had to it's like I had to simplify it in a way. What I was doing, just write the song and just cause I didn't know how to do it at the time. I had my friends, to this day, my group,
shout out the group.
They really got me going, and I always appreciate them for that, because they were there for me when I didn't know how to do none of that. I just knew how to write and how to sing, I guess. But
they're always supportive, always.
Yeah, they were supportive, cause at first, I remember my first thing I did was I hit up some guy from Mexico, and he did a beat for me. But then when I heard it, it just didn't really, it wasn't really my style,
All right.
And then I was in the studio, and these guys heard it, and they were like, hey, we can't help you do it, And I was like, you sure? And they're like, yeah. And It just from there we just never looked back. We kept going, but yeah, it's like in a way I had to simplify everything and just take a step back because I was like I said, I would like to do everything if I can. But at that time, I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't play the guitar, I couldn't play the bass, I didn't know how to record it, I didn't know how to mix it. So I just had to take a step back and just trust the process. You know?
And going through that, seeing your friends wanting to hear you rap, wanting to hear you just, you know, sing or just, you know, express what you want, your creative thought. How did you perceive that? You know, like if I would ask you like right now or play me a song, I want to hear something, you know? How do you perceive that? Because I've seen some artists like, why would, you know, like take it in a weird way or take it in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Was that ever something that you...
I mean, at first, a little bit, it was like I was more like shy in a way, you know? But I think like when I wrote my first song in Spanish, I remember I was at a barbecue with some friends. They were making some carne asada and all that. And I put up and I had showed one of my homies, shout out my homie I.
Hey!
I had just showed him the first song I wrote in Spanish, the first corrido. And
What was the corrido?
it was called Amigos Reales.
Amigos Reales, shout out Amigos Reales.
That was the first one I
Do you have
ever
it
wrote.
out?
Yeah,
On SoundCloud?
Yeah, and that's a whole nother story. No, that one came out. That one was a whole other story. But that was my first Spanish song that I had wrote, and I showed it to them, and they were like, "Oh, like." Well, I showed it to him. He's like, "Bro, this is pretty good, you know." But at the time, it's like they didn't really even listen to that themselves. Like we were heavy on rap and like all other genres, indie, rock, and all that. So it was something new for all of us. Now I went to a carne asada. All my friends were there, and they're like, "Hey, we heard you made a song. Like, show me the song. If it's not good, you ain't eating." And I was like, "Damn." So I played them the song on the speaker. I just seen everyone like bobbing their head. And then the homie's like, he starts fixing me a plate. "Here, bro, you gonna eat good right now. That's just fire." And so from there, I was like, okay, I got my homie thinks it's good. The homies think it's good. Like, let's go.
¿Qué esperamos, huh?
Yeah, like what am I waiting for? Let's do it. And so that's around the time I met my homies, the ones that play the instruments, my band. And so that song was crazy in itself because it was my first song in Spanish, and I dropped it with the team I had at the time, and it just went crazy. It was like, cause I was coming off of like just on Spotify. I was around that time I had just got on Spotify. On Spotify I had like maybe 5 monthly listeners, 10 monthly listeners. Mm-hmm. I remember when I hit 20 listeners, I was so happy. I was like, I got 20 people listening to my song, you know? And then that song came out and boom, it was like the first day I had like 1K monthly listeners. And it went up all the way to like 30K. And I was just like in shock because it was my first song in Spanish, and then it was blowing up. And so it was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, okay, I've been making rap and all these other music and nothing. Oh. And then the one song I made in Spanish just took off. I was like, okay, this is a no-brainer for me. Like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I had a labels calling my phone, and I was young at the time, so it just felt like a dream come true in a way. Like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going with this. And then I had a few bumps along the road that I couldn't get a song out quick enough after that to capitalize off that buzz. So I think from then it was like a learning experience, like, cause I got the ball rolling, but I wasn't there enough to like take off to that next step. So from there, I know I had to lock in, you know, because I had labels calling me and they're like, okay, you got this song, it's doing good, but what else do you have? And I had a couple songs, but they weren't up to that bar, I guess, that was set. So it was a learning experience for me, like, because I got in my head a little bit, but nevertheless, I kept going. And I've had a few experiences up until this day like that, where it's like a song takes off, but then like the follow-up isn't really there, I guess, you know, so.
But it's important that you see that it's in a learning experience.
Yeah.
Some people like will see at it like, I'm not that good. And maybe that was, maybe that was your thought at the moment. I'm like, fuck, these labels are not wanting me, esto que el otro. But you kept at it, and you,
if the second song doesn't blow up, don't get in your head, like it's gonna happen. Like the second one might not do as good, but maybe the third one might not, but maybe the fourth goes more. And so like that really stuck with me, it kept me going in a way too, because I'm like, you know what, he had a point. Like maybe like this doesn't mean every song is gonna be like that, But definitely it was a good moment for me. It got me feeling good, because I had a couple years already like trying and just nothing was really sticking, and that was crazy for all of us, for all the guys. We were all so hyped. It was a good time.
And when you're and that's the important part too. Like it hits you when you least expect it.
Yeah.
It always hits you when you least expect it.
For sure.
When you're playing with your soccer, but your main focus is rap, like it'll hit us when we least expect it. So, I see that you always grow through your experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Going out of high school and getting introduced to labels a little more and understanding what contracts are. How did you see that? Or how did you grow through that?
I had to learn that, like sometimes things don't go your way, but that just doesn't mean like they say, it's just a bad chapter, It's not the end of the story in a way. So I definitely learned from those experiences where I've been close to signing with like a major label, and then for one reason or another, whether that's me or like the label, it just hasn't gone through. And I feel like it's just like everything happens for a reason in a way, So I know I'm on God's timing, and maybe it wasn't the time yet, because like just thinking back to then, I was around 18 or 19, and I definitely wasn't as mature as I am now mentally. So just like the experiences I've had, I've learned from those definitely to just keep going and just trust the process, Like whenever it happens, it's gonna happen. But as of right now, like I'm still working independently and just trying to see what I can do independently in a way too,
Yeah, 100%. I know you were with a label. Things, I don't know, didn't work out. You grew from that. Everything that you go through, you grow from. I've seen. So, tell us about you working independently. What's going on now?
I mean, right now we're working independently, doing most of the moves we make, they're all me or the group, the team. But it's not like we have the most resources or the most budget or none of that. It's really all just the ideas, just trying to bring our ideas to life in a way. I mean, for the most part, I feel like I've worked with labels in the past, but it's not like a major label, I understand that they're independent labels as well. We're all trying to grow together. But sometimes, like, certain things that happen, it just falls out in a way. I feel like for me, it's like, when I join a label or a group, it's because I want to learn certain things. And I feel like sometimes you get to that point where you realize like you've kind of outgrown that label or team in a way. And it's like you realize they're not really on the same timing that you're on. So eventually I just end up parting ways and just try doing my own thing, because I feel like I've kind of surpassed that in a way, like I'm always trying to keep growing, and sometimes some labels, they just get comfortable and they stop putting attention to you,
and that can become an anchor, right?
Yeah.
More than like, hey, I got your support, I got your back, right?
Because like they give you support, but sometimes like it gets to a point where you feel like you're kind of, like you said, you're anchored down in a way, you want to keep growing and keep going. And so definitely I feel like I've learned a lot, but yeah, it just gets to a point where I feel like I gotta just move on anyway, you know, and see what else is out there.
And that's not like you said. That's not saying, oh, you're a bad
Yeah,
company
definitely.
or a bad record label. It's just that things didn't connect onto the next.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, you have to be mature to understand that. Some people are in situations that they're not okay with, but they're still in those situations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we just gotta be mature enough to be like, all right, let's back off to those situations and grow from it.
Yeah, definitely.
So, breaking through that label, breaking through, all the struggles that you have, the past, and going through the downs and the ups, and not being satisfied with what you have. How's it looking? How's it looking now?
Right now, I feel like I'm ready to just take over the world, you know? Like, I feel like the sky's the limit right now. I'm ready to just lock back in and just keep going, you know? Like, for me, the big thing is, like, don't look back, you know? Like, whatever happened, and just keep going. Keep chasing it. And like I said, we're on God's timing, you know? Like, when God says it's time, it's time. But as of right now, it's not time yet. So we still working right now to get to that level that we want to. You know, definitely like I feel like I've accomplished a lot of my dreams, but I'm still not where I want to be. You know.
And that's the hunger that you've always had, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
I've seen it. Like you've never. All right, if I learn this, I can learn that, and if I learn that, I can learn this.
Yeah, because there's times where you get discouraged and things happen, but I feel like I always find a way to pick myself back up. Like I never really get that thought where I'm like, okay, maybe it's just time to throw in the towel and pick up another passion. Like for me, music is really my passion, you know? Whatever that is, whether that's, producing or writing someone else's song. I just love to make art, so I feel like there's been plenty of people that have made that their reality where they're just living off of art, and I feel like it's definitely possible, you know? It's doable.
And you have a record coming out. Speak us a little bit about it. What was the mindset going through that, and
that one was fun to make. Honestly, I think that's one of the funnest songs I've made to this day because I'm just really just expressing myself in a way. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just, just putting my ideas down, and like that's like some songs they come out in 10 minutes, some songs they come out in 2 days. That's one that came out in like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I didn't even think about it. I just wrote it, and I'm like, okay, this is it. And especially like when I make a song and I keep replaying it every day, non-stop. Once it ends, I play it again. I'm like, okay, let's try algo, so.
And I was gonna ask you, you do that before, right? You play around the fam, around the homies, around the grupo. How do you interpret it now? Like when you have a really good song, or when you have a really good music or a really good tone, how do you see that?
Like for me, like this new record that we got coming out, I've been playing it around the fam, around the homies, and like everyone's told me it's good.
But you knew that it was good before, right?
Like I knew it was good, but sometimes you do want that little like
reassurance
to feel like, okay, this one has something, and like for this one specifically, it's something really different. Like I'm trying something totally new, so I feel like I'm ready to just put it out into the world and just see what happens. Like, and the way I'm going about it is like I'm putting it out, okay, on to the next, Maybe the next song isn't necessarily going to be the same style, but right now the way I'm going is I'm just going to make what I want to make, Different styles, different sounds, try to implement to whatever I got going on right now, because I feel like that's really the way to go. Like, if you want to do something big, it has to be something different and creative.
So not necessarily sticking yourself to one genre or one sound or one instrument.
Definitely.
You're versatile.
Yeah, definitely.
And how do you see that, going into the new year, going into the new phase? How do you see that as an advantage for yourself?
I see that as an advantage because I feel like I've never been an artist to where I'm just boxed into one style, one thing I can do. Like I'm very creative. I can make different styles, different sounds, and so I really want to. This year, what I really want to do different is just blend everything together and just see what comes out. Definitely.
And do you have with that being said, do you have like a album coming out? Are you still have that under the covers?
I have some projects on the way.
That
Sure.
put a smile on my face.
Yeah, I have some projects on the way for sure. But nothing locked in yet.
All right.
Like I can't say I have an album on the way or I have a. Right now, I'm just focused on just making different stuff, and eventually, like I feel like whenever I've made an album, it's not like okay, I'm gonna make an album. It's like whenever I write a lot of songs collectively, then I get the thought, okay, maybe this can be a project, a certain moment.
Okay.
But it's rare when I'm like, okay, I'm in album mode or I'm in EP mode.
I was just gonna ask you. So you're not necessarily in the mindset of, or I'm gonna make this project or make this album. You're just gonna be on a creative role.
Yeah, like whenever I make like 5, 6, 7 songs in a row, I'm like, okay, maybe this can be a project, because they all sound similar and like it's like a certain moment in time. I try to capture it, but for the most part, I just go with the flow,
And is that how you thought before?
Yeah, always.
Oh, you've always thought like
Always, yeah, like it's because I don't like to put myself under that pressure. Like, I have to make this project or I have to do this, I like to just be in the creative mindset and just see where it takes me, see what comes out, what ideas.
And can you give us a little hint? What type of genre are you dropping? What's that track looking like?
Right now we have a different kind of style. It's more of like a indie song, rock in a way. It's different instrumentations, different flows, but I'm definitely like happy with it. I feel like it's one of the happiest moments I've had right now, like with my music, just feeling so creative.
And that you didn't have that with. When can you say that was the last time you had that harmonious feeling that like, all right, I'm liking my music.
It's been a while, honestly. It's been a while, like at least a year or two. I feel like I was just like not stuck, but I was like kind of putting myself in this box in a way, and so I feel like right now I've been able to get myself out of that box and just open to try new things, Like, I don't know, I might drop a rap song, I might drop a rock, I might
a
drop
country song.
Country, I'm open to do whatever right now. So I'm ready to just get the ball rolling again and just get those creative flows going.
And with that being said, do you see like, all right, if a record hits me up, if a label hits me up, what is your thought process? Am I still gonna stay independent? I'm gonna stay, keep going with my creativity. I'm gonna stay on my own lane. Or what are your thoughts there if a record label hits you up?
I mean, we just have to see in a way, I mean, I can't say that I'm ready to just sign a deal or not, but I feel like I'm on a different mindset right now. So I feel like if the right deal is out there and the right opportunity, well, I know I have to capitalize on that now. Because I've had a few opportunities come up and I feel like I haven't fully taken advantage of it. And so definitely I feel like right now it's my moment to just,
Rip the heart out,
yeah,
huh?
Just go with it.
That's what's up.
I feel like it's the right timing, like we'll go with it.
Está bien, pues. Well, that concludes our podcast. Thank you, Sling, for joining
Thanks
us.
For having me, bro.
100%. And of course, like Sling said, it's not about what we have and the struggle that we have, but growing through the process and growing through all that we've gone through, and shining when we do get out of that tunnel.
Yes, sir. And to all the dreamers out there, big dreams, the world is yours, and just never give up on yourself. It's never too late to dream, and just think big, think bigger than life. The sky's the limit for real, so just keep going. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen in this life.
Como me acuerdo los golpes que tomé de morro, pero el sol le sale